Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. With the Season 5 Reloaded update dropping later on this week alongside the 1.24 title update, we are going to see a new major weapons update included in this patch. And this means we're going to see some changes to the overall meta. We'll see some weapon buffs and nerfs to shift things around a little bit. But we also have some quote-unquote new weapons dropping and being added to the arsenal as well. Although this is a rather peculiar weapons update, I won't lie. Basically, getting into that portion here right away, we do have 3 new weapons dropping with Season 5 Reloaded. However, outside of just one of them, they're kind of just add-ons to weapons that we already have, and they're calling them new guns. The 3 main weapons that we're going to end up seeing are the Ice Pick or the Pickaxe Melee, which of course, as we know, is just like a reskinned knife essentially. We do have the 9mm Damon pistol, which is technically a new gun, so that's the one original weapon here. Then the third weapon we have is the Lockman Shroud SMG, which is just the Lockman sub or the MP5, but it has an integrated suppressor and it functions as a burst weapon instead. So definitely an interesting selection to say the least. But going into a bit more detail about all these weapons in specific, these are all actually going to be available in the same place, and that is through a newly updated Battle Pass sector, basically. As I'm sure you've seen if you've checked out the Battle Pass screen for the first half of Season 5, we do have that classified sector there, and that's going to be unlocked with Season 5 Reloaded and reveal our 3 new weapons. And so you'll go through, you'll complete the smaller portions of the sector, which includes some double weapon XP, then the pickaxe and the pistol as individual unlocks. And then by doing all 4 of those, and then ultimately the challenge for the suppressed MP5, the MP5 SD here, you'll end up unlocking that as well. So that's going to be in the Battle Pass sector E0 is what they're calling it basically, and it'll function through that. Now, the details of these weapons in specific, the pickaxe is pretty straightforward, right? Their description for this heavy-duty melee weapon enables quiet and deadly operations behind enemy lines with best-in-class damage and range. Weird to be talking about damage and range on melee weapons, but hey, here we are. And the base challenge for this in order to unlock it is to get 15 operator kills with melee weapons. So operator kills does imply it has to be real players. You cannot make any progress on this challenge by taking out bots or AI in Invasion or in DMZ. So 15 real player melee kills to end up getting the pickaxe there. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. As far as the 9mm Damon pistol goes, this is their description. This modern tactical pistol is chambered in 9mm and is deadly from the hip and features best-in-class semi-automatic fire rate. The sidearm category grows deeper with this new addition, set to rival the P890 and the X12 for the low-caliber semi-auto throne. Whether kitted for accuracy as a sole sidearm or done akimbo, the 9mm Damon is true to its name. This is a hell of a secondary weapon choice. Damon, however you want to pronounce it there. Now, the base challenge for this in order to unlock it is to get 15 operator headshot kills with pistols. So again, this has to happen on real players. If you do it against bots, it's not going to track at all. So 15 real player headshots while using pistols, relatively straightforward there. You know, you dive into hardcore, use a deagle or something that's a one shot to the head, you'll be good to go. Like, that's not too difficult, only 15 headshots there. You should be able to unlock that one pretty quickly. But then we get to the main weapon, really the standout one of the 3, even though it's technically a weapon add-on, like I said, with the Lockman Shroud. And as we get into the description of this alongside some of the other weapon updates coming with Season 5 Reloaded, quick reminder, if you are new here, every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns. If it has to do with Call of Duty, you're gonna find it here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications to always stay up to date. And if you enjoyed the video, if you found it helpful at all, let me know by dropping a like on it. It does really help the channel grow. But as far as the Lockman Shroud goes, this is their description. The stealthy and lethal 9mm SMG features burst and semi-auto fire modes, which allow for considerable mobility and stopping power out to the mid-range. Right away, that makes this weapon very awkward. Burst weapons are not necessarily the greatest for close range, semi-auto even more so. So initially, you know, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to make this, suppressed MP5 good. The MP5 as is already a top 2 SMG. This has got to be good, right? Well, it being burst or semi-auto as its only fire modes is definitely going to change things up there unless it just has a crazy damage profile. They say integrated suppressor weapons like the M13C and Fennec show their strength in clandestine operations. Now the Lockman platform is getting its own stealth powerhouse, the Lockman Shroud, perfect for close-range engagements, especially when staying off the grid is paramount to mission success. Now the base challenge to unlock this is a bit more complicated because this is the max reward for Sector E0. So before you can unlock the MP5 Shroud or the Lockman Shroud, you have to unlock the 4 other sectors, so the 2 double weapon XP tokens and the pickaxe and the pistol. And then once you do that, you can end up getting 30 operator hipfire kills with SMGs, and you'll have the Lockman Shroud unlocked. So 30 hipfire kills against real players while using an SMG, again, pretty straightforward. You should be able to do that in like 1 to 2 matches of shipment. So that is effectively the rundown of the new weapons dropping with Season 5 Reloaded, but the weapons update, of course, expands far beyond just the new arsenal updates. We're also going to see weapon balancing changes, as mentioned, buffs and nerfs to various different weapons in-game that will affect the overall meta, and the full patch notes for these and the exact details will be revealed when the update drops on Wednesday morning. And of course, as I'm sure you guys know by now, if you're active viewers on the channel, I'm gonna have all those details for you guys right as they drop, so stay tuned for that. Again, if you're new here, be sure to hit that sub button. But with this, you know, there's a few different things we can expect. First and foremost, there is like one main standout gun in the game right now, and that is the ISO 45. We've got a very competitive SMG category. The Lockman sub is phenomenal. The Vel 46 is great. The Vaznev is great. But the ISO 45 is the SMG. There's no reason to not use it. It wins everywhere. It's just the overall best meta sub, and there's not really a reason to use anything else if the ISO exists in its current state. So I feel like a nerf is most definitely coming to the ISO, and it's probably long overdue there for the close range. There should also be some weapon updates to combat the one-shot knife melee bug that's going on right now, where if you use an SMG and have a throwing knife equipped, you can melee and one-shot knife an enemy that has full armor. I guess technically that's a meta update, but it's also just fixing a broken exploit with the game, I guess. But then you look towards long range, and honestly, you know, throughout the meta videos that we've covered this season, it's a pretty open long range meta. However, the rifles are still relatively underwhelming for the most part. The 7.62 and the M13B are really the only main standouts there. The rest of the long range is all the LMGs, which are phenomenal and maybe a little bit too powerful if the rifles are going to stay as is. And then the battle rifles like the Cronin, the Lockman 7.62, the SO14. The TAC-V is not as great because of its most recent nerfs, but either we got to see some reductions to some of the battle rifles and LMGs with their damage over range, or the rifles need a slight buff to keep up with their damage over range just because they're a bit more marshmallowy, I guess you could say. Once you get to 60, 70, 80 plus meters, they don't really hit as hard, you know, even if they are lower recoil. But again, we will have the full details on the actual meta changes once Season 5 Reloaded is out, and I'll have you guys covered with those. That said, it's also important to keep in mind, usually the mid-season update weapons are very strong because they want players to get those challenges done and put more playtime into the game. So don't be surprised if the close range meta come Wednesday is the Lockman Shroud, but of course we're going to have to wait and see for that. And then finally, when it comes to the weapons update for Season 5 Reloaded, we do have a new weapon camo event dropping with this. Pretty much every single mid-season update or reloaded update now, we are seeing a new camo event. We've got another one of these here for Season 5 that's going to give us what is basically like a red sort of digital looking camo, I guess. It's a bit different from some of the ones that we've seen recently, and then there's also a different variation of it that you can see in the initial preview image for it. But essentially, every single weapon category has its set listed challenges. So rifles all have theirs, launchers, LMGs, melees, handguns. Every single time you complete that camo challenge for that base weapon category, so if you do the assault rifle challenges, you'll get that camo for every single assault rifle in the game. Same thing with the SMGs, same thing with the shotguns, so on and so forth. But to get the like quote unquote mastery version of this camo, you have to go through and complete every single weapon category's challenges. So all 10 weapon category challenges need to be complete, and then you'll get that mastery one unlocked there as well. So pending how drastic the weapon balances and the meta changes are for Season 5 Reloaded, it's a decent and relatively standard weapons update for a mid-season launch. Couple of new weapons, even though they're kind of like reskins or weapon updates that probably could just be done as a new attachment, but it is what it is, I guess. New weapon balance changes, meta updates, buffs and nerfs, and 2 new camos becoming available as well to use between Warzone, MW2, and DMZ. And that effectively is everything you can expect with the new weapons update dropping later on this week. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like. And if you are new here, you want to guarantee you are always up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out so you never miss another video. And as always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code IMMORTAL for a discount on all Gamer Advantage, G Fuel, and Control Freak products. And the links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.